The way that I see things is if you have a good team around you, you can't help but grow. And I think that's the one thing that a lot of people are not thinking about nowadays is that they think that they can do it themselves. They can grow, get the millions because social media does that. Oh man, he made it by himself. Well, of course I could do it. No, you need a team around you to propel you
That's
up.
so good that you say that stuff because literally last night and every other day we always talk. And Caesar is probably like the biggest advocate for that of,
Team,
other people
family,
need to make
yes.
money so that you can grow as well.
Of course.
Be able to share.
You can't be selfish that way.
Exactly.
If there's $1,000 to be made, if you think that you could do it all yourself, you're killing yourself for that $1,000.
Yeah, you might be able
no
to,
way.
but it's going to take you longer.
Sure. So for me, if you divide that profit, now we can expedite and make 3 or 4 more jobs
Exactly.
while making it a good environment. So that's the way I think.
Yes,
I feel like
concur.
Yes.
Because me, before when I was in high school, I had that mindset of, let me do the work by myself. I'll make the full amount. But
Sure.
later on, once I started to kind of become more of a quote unquote entrepreneur, I was more interested in sharing money so that I can do more.
Right. But there's 2 things I want to say, and I think you can agree with me. There's 2 problems with society now. Number 1, everybody wants it now.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow. They want it now.
Yeah.
So everyone's in the short-term mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, because our society is so full of debt, they immediately say, well, if this job's $1,000, if I share it, now I'm only making $500. So I might as well hurry up and make it myself and get myself out of debt. They don't think about it as, well, let me have a team around me that I can then get more work. And if I do it long-term, I'm going to reap the benefits. That's the problem. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it yesterday. And so having this mentality.
So you're saying people are more short-sighted now?
Way
than
short-sighted.
ever before.
Not one person can see the future anymore.
Yeah.
Because if, for example, if you call someone in and they say, hey, can you come in and do a shoot for me, $1,000? They're not thinking about, well, if I do a really good job, maybe they'll hire me back again. For them, it's like $1,000. Yeah, I could pay this, this, and this, and this. So that's it. They're not thinking about anything else.
We were literally talking about that last night.
Yeah.
Somebody had actually came to the office. They were going to do a couple things for us. And we're like, listen, we don't want a transactional relationship.
Of course.
We want something more long-term so that
it's not a
you
one
can
and done
benefit,
thing.
you can make more money, and so can we.
Of course.
Right?
Because there's also that stability of growth.
Of course.
And again, people don't want growth because people look at it as the objective as, well, if I can make $1,000 today, who cares what I make tomorrow? I'll figure it out. Figure what out?
Just
Can't
go
figure out
day by
anything.
day.
And with that, Ahmet, at your camera, let's start it up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cash Flow, the podcast. This is episode 7. I'm one of your hosts, Ahmet Dogan, and I'm here with the big guy, Caesar
Yes.
The
Dogan.
big guy. Little-
Thank you. The
No,
big
big-
guy. After being
what a
called
big-
fat. And, like, what's going on, guys?
The
What's
big
going
guy,
on?
as
Yes.
in like
What a job.
in terms
I
of
want to go back
size.
to the 16 and 1700s. That's where people would appreciate me.
right, the big guy. The big guy's here.
The big guys in like the boss.
The boss, yeah,
patron.
yeah,
I
yeah.
swear.
AKA. This, yeah.
Guys, you know what we have to talk about? This is actually a good segue that you brought in. The big boss. So there's a big problem happening. We're talking landlords versus tenants. We live in a country where tenants now have even more rights. So, for example,
For
yes,
residential
for
properties.
residential properties, yes.
Commercial.
Commercial, it's the flip.
Commercial, no.
Yeah.
So for residential, here's the problem. If you are a landlord and they cannot pay, you cannot touch them. They're staying there rent-free. That's the problem. Talk to me about it, guys.
I would want you to actually touch on that because I feel like you have tenants right now. You are a landlord. You have tenants. So could you please kind of delve into that a little bit and talk about some of your experiences that you've had? I'm going at it because
How
it
does
was
it go?
So first of all, we have to say, I hear a little bit of laughing in the back. What's happening there?
No,
Caesar, touch on it.
I've had a few like a hiccup with.
Well, don't disclaim too much personal information,
Yeah,
but this
with
is
a
a
tenant.
great. So you are a landlord, though. Let's
Yes.
just clear the air.
Yes.
Tell me about it because what you're about to say is pretty much every story I've ever heard of a tenant.
So I wanted to help out this tenant. I agreed to not collecting our rents for a certain amount of time. And then we came to a agreement, like a payment schedule. And about 4 or 5 times he has unilaterally, like single-handedly, reshaped those. He said, well, this is what's happening, then I have to do this. This is what's happening. But now, give or take, I think I am About, yeah, like a good amount of money that's owed to me. But you just have to work with them. That's what it is. And even with the tenant, he doesn't have any ill intentions. I know that. It's just that he hit a very, very patchy road.
But now,
It-
did he come to you? Did he come to you as a human being and said, "Look,
Dude, he passed out in the office.
what do you mean? Like in fear?"
No, he wasn't feeling well because he said, like, from the anxiety, like, I owe
No,
you
no,
this much. I
yeah,
don't
but
feel
he,
well.
okay. So wait. He came to you
Yeah.
and he talked to you.
Yeah.
But there's tenants now that they know their rights.
Oh.
They can easily say, "I paid first and last. Now
Yeah.
I can't pay. It's tough times.
No,
Deal
this
with
guy's
it."
not like that.
No. It has nothing to do with that. But when that happens, you need to know the laws. You need to issue the N4 right away. So non-payment, whatever it is, you can get them out quick. But it
You
may
cannot.
take
I will fight you right now. You
How long?
cannot get them out.
how long?
As long as the courts take. Sometimes it could take up to 6 months. You
Okay.
can't touch them, and they can't, and they don't need to pay.
So if you're a landlord,
I am a
or
landlord.
if you want to be a landlord, you need to factor that in, and you need to make sure that you do your due diligence.
So again, but
That's what it
again,
is.
why are landlords not more protected? And why did the tenants just get more leverage from the government?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like I find that so BS.
So Florida's not like that. Florida,
Yeah.
if they don't pay 2 minutes after, you can evict them.
Yeah.
what?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're fully landlord. Because think about it. You came into my home that I paid my money for.
Exactly.
If you cannot continue to pay me, you're out. Now in Canada, no, you cannot kick someone out because then they're going to be out on the street, and that
I
you
wonder.
cannot do that.
I wonder if that has to do with the shortage in housing.
No,
No.
it's been like this for a very long time.
Okay.
We always protect. Right or wrong isn't the question here. It's the question of victim. So it's like someone, let's say, jaywalking, and you're driving and you hit them. Should they be jaywalking? No.
Hold on a second.
are
Who's
you-
the victim here? The landlord or the tenant?
The landlord becomes the
Think,
victim.
but they don't get that
But-
perk.
But because of, so if it's a family of 5 and
Uh-huh.
they're living out in the street, what do? They're essentially a victim too.
Yeah, but what does
it's-
that have to do with this? This is a business transaction. As a landlord, you are a business.
Yeah,
So it's like me saying
I
I'm
agree
going to
with
use.
you. It needs
yeah,
to be better balance.
But this is what I mean.
It has to be fair.
But this is what I mean. Why is it that landlords don't get any support, but in the commercial space, it's all provided to the landlord?
So I think that for residential, because I don't know, even with like residential real estate and commercial real estate, residential is very emotional. Commercial, it's more so business, straightforward. It's like, listen, dude, I'm looking to make money here. If you're not gonna pay my rent, you're out of here right away. But for residential, it's more of a family.
It's personal.
Exactly, personal,
So
family.
You're
If there's
out on the
kids,
street.
you're out on the street. But with commercial, you're not like that. It's a business. And it's not a personal name that's on the lease, right? It's a business name. So depending on the sort of corporation or business registration that they have, they could either be a sole proprietor and a corporation and all these sorts of things. So they may have their own separate legal entity that cannot even be sued.
So now comes the next question as a landlord. Do you do credit checks? Credit score checks?
Me personally?
Yeah, as a landlord. Do you do your due diligence? Do you look up the tenant prior to?
I've made mistakes.
Of course, we all have. But I'm saying now, moving forward,
Yes.
do you do a more of a thorough check?
I'm not interested in renting to someone. See, I guess it gets tricky but- because I need to be cautious with what I say because I don't want to self-incriminate myself.
No. Talk about credit score. Do you look up someone's credit score to see if they're going to be sustainable to pay month after month?
So the credit score isn't it's only 10%. So
Why?
for me, because someone can have a 650 credit score and another one can have 850, but I prefer the 650 because they do business, they have money that's going in and out. The other guy's just a payroll guy. If he gets, I don't know,
like fired or laid off?
Fired, laid off, he can't do anything. Whereas the other guy, and usually people that are business savvy, their credit score isn't that great because they're doing business, lines of this, that.
They're
There's
busy.
higher utilization.
Exactly.
They miss out on payments because they're just so occupied.
Okay, that's
So
fair.
they have a good cash flow. You look at their bank statements. You look at what they're doing. Do they have a truck? Do they have a vehicle? Do they have online exposure? Are they legitimately making money? Can they do it? The people that can't really pay are payroll people. And on mortgages, it's the total opposite. with me, I think the people that can that have a good circulation are the people that you ought to go for. And the thing is, because they're in business, let's say you have a roofer. I'm getting the roof done, so
Sure.
that's why you have a roofer. An average trade person is probably making anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 a month, doing their own business. And let's say they have one guy,
Yeah.
so that's a good amount of money.
Would you say gross or net?
Depending on
Depending
how hard
on the
work
industry
they,
and all that. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
plumbers are making 30,000 net,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're doing
but
very
they
well.
break their back. That's a different story.
100%. That's a tradesman. But here's the thing, though. As a mortgage broker,
But yeah,
See, I was just about to get into that. I think I know what
go
you're
for
going
it.
to say.
Go for it.
Because you just said that as a tenant, you would want a business for self or
Yes,
a self-employed
exactly.
tenant,
Mhm.
whereas the banks,
Uh-huh.
your traditional brick and mortars don't want business for self clients. Well, they do, but because many self-employed individuals don't report their income, they're saying, no, listen, we don't see you as a
No.
good candidate.
but it's not just that. They get a severance package. So if you've worked, if Steph was working for, I don't know, IBM or a big company, he's gonna get maybe a year's worth of pay if he gets fired.
Yes, exactly.
So
But there isn't many people that are in those big time firms, though.
Yeah, of course there are. Maybe not in your immediate area, but there are.
But if you separate from the landlord to the mortgage broker now,
It doesn't. I
as a
feel like-
mortgage broker, you're always going to look at, well, what kind of credit score do they have? How can I
What's their
help them?
employment like?
What's their employment like? How sustainable will their income be? And how much debt are they supporting now? Like, do they have 4 credit cards and each credit card is at that 50% mark? Like, what are we looking at? As a landlord, now you're talking, well, if he's an entrepreneur, he has a lower credit score, he's got a lot of money coming in and out. I get it. So it's a different mindset. How do you switch from mortgage broker to that?
I don't agree with the
What
fact
I'm
that because I think that someone that's
The big guy.
someone that's payroll, I personally think that is more reliant on a budget than somebody that's business.
That's
for
on a salary?
Yeah. No. Someone that's on a salary is more reliant on a budget, whereas someone that's business for themselves, I don't think
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
I
think
agree
they're
with
more on a budget.
You would disagree with that?
What I'm
It depends. I
what
would
I'm
say.
trying to get at is I feel that the person that's salaried is actually more guaranteed. You're more guaranteed to receive your rent with them because they've already budgeted for that month's payment, right?
But what
And
Caesar's
their
saying,
job-
though, it's
their-
not. But their job, even though by salary, doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. At any point in time, the company.
So then
could
why
just
do the
say-
banks see it that way then?
Because the banks are traditional, like to the number people. They don't veer away from things that they think
But
work.
Steph, we're talking about banks that are giving out $900,000 of a loan. This is maximum
no.
$5,500,000 a month. Right.
Mine is personal.
Yeah.
You have to go the way the banks go. Like you can garnish someone's
Unless you get a
wages if they're
second-
working payroll.
No, but unless you get another lender, some other form of getting the money, you don't necessarily have to go through the banks.
No, yeah, you don't.
No.
But I'm
I
just
get it. But
saying-
if someone is salaried, you can go and garnish their wages. If someone is self-employed, they have a company, they can just close that company, open up another company, and you will be getting something else.
Do you know why credit scores? Okay, so credit score has been around forever, and the banks took on this ideal thing that if we judge someone's credit, this is how much money they're going to get from us. That
Yeah.
hasn't changed in like over 200 years, for God's sakes. Everyone's always been like, this is what you should do, and this is what you will get. I don't think it's ever been checked.
You know,
That's the thing I'm saying.
One of the common things that I see when I look at people's credit score, a homemaker that has one credit card, $1,000, and they're using like maybe $200, $300 per month. They've had it for 2-3 years. Their credit score is typically amazing. They have there are no lines, but they have
How can
credit
that be,
score
though?
that's like 750, 770.
Well, they have no trade lines.
But they have no debt. They don't have much of it either. They're always paying on time,
Yeah.
low utilization, and it's perfect. But really, do they have an income? No, nothing.
They also don't really use much credit, though.
Yeah, but they
So
don't
how
have
can you-
money coming in either.
But how can you increase your credit score if you're using very minimal credit? Like there is
It
no
increases. It
That's
yeah,
very silly.
Yeah. Like you'll easily see them above 50.
So now I understand now what you're saying. When you're as a landlord, you do not look at
But
credit score that much.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, though. So to quickly piggyback off of that, when you have only one credit card that's $1,000 of a limit, it could either be two ways. Either your credit score is bad or your credit score is good.
Yeah, of course. There's no
Because
in between.
because somebody can make 3-4 purchases that's already maxed out. Imagine if they forget to pay that. Their utilization is already at 80%, let's say. Even only if they're using $800.
Okay, now,
That's going to decrease your credit score significantly.
but let's
Whereas
get
if
down
you
to
had
it. Wait a second.
more-
But now you're telling people, okay, wait, but here's clear the air here, guys. Now people are saying to you, okay, guys, but now I'm worried about my credit. But if you have good credit for 60 to 90 days, it'll start to go up.
Yeah.
So maybe you can explain that. How does credit change so quickly? Because you would imagine it would take a long time, but within 60 days, it's already you're seeing an increase.
Yeah, but it also goes down quicker than the 60, 90 days. You have
Yeah.
for 1 month your credit utilization at 90%. It's going to go right away down. It's actually harder for it to go up than down.
And the reason that is because every 30 days, because you get your credit card statements, those statement amounts get reported to the Equifax credit report, and where you check your credit score is the Equifax credit report. So
Wow.
am I making sense?
Yeah, of
So it's every
This is
30
wild.
days.
Also, it's not even that. Let's say you, like, I'm the type of person that makes multiple payments per month because I use it.
Of course.
So when it gets reported to the bureau, it usually goes zero.
Yeah.
So if you pull my credit Equifax, you'll always see zero. But
Zero in
realist-
regards to what? Because you always pay it?
Yeah, because
Oh,
I make
okay.
advance payments.
Oh,
So
to
by
show
my
them that
credit,
your
exactly.
your incentives are there.
So the bank knows that I'm really, really good, that particular bank. But anyone else that's checking mine, they're saying, well, this guy's not using his credit. I am.
They're just
making
going to pass it as you're not even using it?
Yeah, because they don't know. It reports as zero,
Wow.
but realistically, that month I may have made $15,000 in advance payments. Like typically credit card companies owe me. Right now, I'm at negative $71.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like whatever. I'll make advance payments right away.
But doesn't the statement circulate with everyone that they'll see how much you've used it, what your limit is now, your increase and all that stuff?
Yeah, but because I'm making these payments, the credit card company does not feel the need to increase my credit limit either. They're saying, look, you're already using it. You're making more payments, and I'm not asking for it. I don't want another credit check. But if I have a $10,000 credit card and I just put more money into it, it becomes $20,000.
Yeah, the limit really doesn't matter.
Guys, last question for this. What about if you have a multiple amount of credit cards?
I have so
Can
many.
that hurt you?
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily. You got to make sure that those annual fees. Like with me, I get credit cards that don't have annual fees.
The one
and
$0,
ones that-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't pick them up because
But does it hurt your credit score if you have,
No.
let's say, 4 credit cards?
It actually helps.
it helps.
Is that
more.
right?
Because
you
you have
have
more.
Yeah.
So it's all about utilization. How many, like credit card utilization? How much of it are you really using?
It's an average of. Would you rather take an average of 1 or an average of 4?
Ah, okay. I thought the more credit cards
Yeah.
you have, the worse your credit
No.
is.
It has to do with utilization.
Like how much you use them.
So let's say one credit card is 5,000.
Yes.
The other is 5. You have
Yes.
4 of them, so you have $20,000.
Yes, exactly.
If you've used $3,000, you've only used in ratio 3 times 5, 15% of it.
Correct.
15% of your total credit.
Okay, but what
Whereas
about if you max them all
if
out?
it's then you're
Like
Yeah,
if you're in trouble, right?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
Of course, that's terrible.
What about
That's why if you need to use a credit card,
Yes.
use some there and some there, and keep
Uh,
each credit card
lower than what? Is there
50%.
50?
Yeah,
That's
I
like
would say.
the number.
Because what you're telling, like, if
What,
you're
you disagree?
always
Yeah, it's like 38%.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
because the whole idea is you don't want the credit card company. Because think about it this way: if you're paying interest, you're paying it because you don't have money. So you're
You're showing-
accumulating this debt only to pay it once you have money. So they're saying this guy's in need of us as the credit card supplier, provider. So if that's not the case, then why else would you pay the 22%?
Does this also apply for lines of credit? Is it
Yeah.
essentially the same thing as a credit card?
No, it's not the same. Lines of credit, depending on me personally, when I look at lines of credit, I look at it in terms of a business standpoint. People
Okay.
that use lines of credit, they're a lot more business savvy.
Okay.
because it's a lower interest rate. You want, if you're going to be tackling something, you get it through a line of credit, because
Which also gets it gets you get that by putting your house as collateral, right? Some of the times.
no, it depends
No,
if it's
those are
secured, unsecured.
those are home equity line of credits.
Okay.
And I want to quickly touch on that. If you do have a lot of credit card debt, say 50,000, and you have enough equity in your property, you can definitely do.
Like
You can
consolidate it.
Yeah, exactly. You can consolidate the debt, put it into one home equity line of credit at, say 8-9%, wherever you're getting it from, but it's far cheaper than what you would be paying for a credit card or a personal line of credit.
So you would recommend that if you have
Oh,
equity
100%,
into your home,
100%.
take it, pay off all of your debt.
Why would you want to be paying 3% of your credit card balance every single month? Say that you have 10 of them, the total amount is $60,000 of debt. You're paying almost, I don't know, like maybe $1,500 a month,
Jesus.
2,000. If you're asking for 60,000 at 8%, that's approximately like $600 a month. So you're
But now
halfway
But
there.
the problem is, if you're taking money out of your home, right, you're raising also the interest, right?
No,
because,
you're not.
Well, yeah, because if you're pulling out, let's say, 50,000 from your equity,
Yeah.
now you're going to be paying more on your monthly mortgage
Yeah, but that monthly amount, you were still paying it for your credit card though.
at a reduced rate because the
Exactly.
mortgage
So
right
if
now is
you-
like a 60%.
No, but you're
or
not
whatever.
moving. You're not breaking your first position mortgage. This is a second position home equity line
Oh,
of
I
credit.
see,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see,
yeah.
I see, I
So if your
see.
first position mortgage is at 2%, this obviously wouldn't make sense to you to get a whole new
Yeah,
first
a whole
mortgage.
brand new
exactly.
mortgage, yeah.
So then we're like, okay, the first mortgage is cheap. You're only paying $2,000 a month. It wouldn't make sense for you to refinance at 7% or 6.5%. Let's get you a second position for the time being. Let's consolidate some debt. And once your maturity is coming up, we can just pay all of that out and just refinance it into one.
Some knowledge on this one, boys.
Yeah, makes sense.
The question always remains.
Where
People
can they
had
find
to
us?
find you.
Yeah.
Where would they find you?
So Caesar, let them know, man.
Caesar Homes Canada on Instagram and CaesarHomes.ca. Search us, Google us, Caesar Homes.
And myself, Mortgages by Ahmed on Instagram. That's my website, mortgagesbyahmed.ca. info@mortgagesbyahmed.ca. And you can also find this podcast on Spotify, YouTube. Are we on iTunes?
iTunes we are. Definitely, but Spotify is like the head honcho.
Spotify, YouTube. You can find us.
Cash Flow.
Cash Flow, the podcast.
Yes.
And maybe we should open a Cash Flow
TikTok.
and Instagram.
Maybe.
What's
Why?
He's not interested. He doesn't want
Yeah.
the extra work.
I don't
That's
want
what
the
it-
extra work for the extra
Yeah.
money. You know? Until next time, boys.
See you later.
Ciao.